the number one thing you would tell agents who are trying to figure out how to make it as an agent?
I think first of all, find out exactly the direction you want to go in the business. A lot of agents get in and they want to try and do everything. I try and stay in my lane, do what I'm good at, kind of double down on that, and also master the morning schedule.
What is that morning schedule?
So the morning schedule for me is the moment I wake up in the morning, which my alarm goes off at 4:30 every day, till about noon for me. So before that time, I don't take any inbound calls. My assistants deal with all of that, and all I'm doing is making outbound calls, trying to set an appointment for that day or the next day.
What do you say to someone who's terrified of just cold calling, getting on the phone and talking to someone they don't know?
Probably real estate isn't probably the best industry for you unless you can get over that hang up. A lot of people think, cold calling, and they think that's what it is, but even if you get a lead from the internet, you still have to call that person. So in essence, you're still calling a cold lead, but you've actually paid for that lead. So it's much better just to get on the phone and call the motivated people who are either for sale by owners, expired, or maybe they've come off the market and canceled the contract with their agent.
Give me an idea of something you say to somebody the second they say hello.
First of all, introduce myself, make sure they know who they're speaking with, and basically the first question for me is, saw that your home came off the market, when do you plan on interviewing the right agent for the sale of your home?
And do you get a good response to that?
I know my numbers. I think for every 44 people I speak to, I set an appointment, and for every, I believe it is 54, I actually take a listing. So for me, it's all a numbers game. You have to think of it, we are in a business. So the way I look at it is every 53 people say no, the 54th person is a listing taken.
So what do you do to keep that upbeat positivity to make you continue to grab for that phone?
Obviously it's tough, but I think when you do it every single day, it just becomes part of your daily life. And if you don't do it, you have a lot of guilt. So obviously one of the things is really being part of the Mike Ferry organization, having the accountability from your coach, from your bank account, from Mike itself, from your numbers, from your board, from your escrows, from your pendings. And really we have a fiduciary relationship to our clients, that if we tell them on the listing appointment, I'm going to call every one of your neighbors and see if they know someone moving to the area. If I don't do that, then in essence, I'm giving them a disservice.
So I noticed you're super dressed up, ties, jacket,
Yep.
Suit on, nice shoes. How much of how you look is important? Why are you so dressed up in a day and age when most people don't dress up anymore?
I live in Vegas, obviously it's very hot, but even in the summer I'll still wear this. I just think it's respect to the people I'm meeting with. We are a business person. Sometimes you do business with friends, but even then I still put a shirt and tie on. For me, it's for myself and for the client. If I'm not wearing this, I don't feel quite mentally as sharp. And I just feel like if I'm meeting with a seller to, or a buyer, the biggest asset of their life they're about to invest in, I just feel like I should be in a professional attire, and I think that's the only way we should do business.
What's something in your career that you just had an aha moment where you're like, man, I wish I'd known this on day one, I would have been so much better off?
I've been pretty lucky. I've been in the business 4 years, and obviously I met Mike about 6 months in. So I wish I would have met Mike from day one, and I was actually a professional soccer player before in England. So I wish I would have known Mike then, because Mike really works on our mindset and our strength. But I think for me, the first thing is the first day you got your real estate license is probably call everyone that you know. Everyone you've ever met from previous career, and just say, hey, I'm in real estate, do you know anyone who's looking to buy or sell? And then you can start the prospecting that way to build your database and to start prospecting clients.
What's one piece of advice you'd give to all agents?
Don't do what most brokers do and say, hey, have 6 months reserves, because the first 6 months you may not make any money. Everyone says that. Don't even listen to that. Day one, try and make your first sale. So be the first one in the office, outwork every single person, especially for the first 4 to 5 years, outwork everyone, first in the office, last to leave, and call for appointments. Don't just call for the sake of calling because you think you have to. Call people with a purpose and a purpose to help them. And when I call, I think a big aha moment, going back to another question, was now I call and I'm trying to help them. Whereas before I was calling to try and get a commission check. So the more experience I got, I can call them now, hey, I'm trying to help you. And when you come with that mentality, it changes everything.